Okay, so for my end, the Ghanaian Times Daily Guide, BNFT, The Finder, and Republic Press. Let me quickly start from here. And Mama V, I'm proud of this one, so I'm going to not start from the front page. I'm going to start from page 10 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. And it says, UN appoints Ghanaian as Assistant Secretary General. I'm always happy when Ghanaians, out there lift high the flag, especially when it's a woman. So I'm exceedingly happy about this one. Martha Ama Echan Pobi has been appointed as Assistant Secretary General for Africa in the Departments of Political and Peace Building Affairs and Peace Operations. I'll tell you a bit more should time allow us. But this one, race for forthcoming appointments, Charlie. Call it a mad rush. Mad rush for MMDCE positions. And so we have 216 vacancies. Guess what? There are 1,317 people applying for those vacancies. Is it fitting to ask, waiting day there?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. But it's honestly just like every other position. So
in the Ashanti region, 263 people are applying.
But even this one is small. Police is recruiting. We have many applicants. Military, as in Ghana Armed Forces. If you have a vacancy, if you see an advertisement out there and you see the number of people applying, it just tells you the cycle. This one quite small.
Last word. I'm out for. And nowadays, because you mentioned some of these offices, the military and others, a lot of people have been putting stuff out there that they are recruiting, and they have to come out and say, we are not. Why can't we, you see, to stem the tide of that problem, why can't we have a certain portal or something when we are recruiting? It is only at this location, and maybe in papers like the Daily Graphic, the Ghanaian Times, that you would see this. To avoid all of this, I can't tell you how many times I get people, because they see me as someone on. Sometimes they think you are all knowing, so they will send you, hey, is this true? Is this? And then I have to run my checks, and a lot of the time it is fake. It's not true.
There was an advertisement, by the way, I think somebody shared on our news platform about the Ghana Armed Forces recruiting. And I think it was in one of the weekend newspapers, either the Mirror or one of those papers. So you can check it out, but you can also go onto their website, the Ghana Armed Forces website, just so you can authenticate if they are indeed really recruiting. Okay, so just to wrap up with the Ghanaian Times newspaper, I wanted to quote some of what Kwesi Amwapuata said. So the 20 out of 25 interchanges we are targeting, we are looking at, per what was mentioned yesterday, 7.827 billion Ghana cedis needed to fix some 2,167.72. That's actually kilometers of critical roads, not even for the interchanges per se. So interesting times. Armed robbers, you wanted to say something? No.
Armed robbers kill soldier on prank in Tampo Highway. We'll be talking about that. 3 arrested over kidnapping murder at Ankara. In DR Congo, quite a bit happening there. There's been a volcanic eruption, and it sparked massive evacuation. On the back page, though, Kotoko overtaken after Wafa draw. So we've been dislodged from first spot. We have the same points with Hearts of Oak, but Hearts of Oak now on top on goal difference. So yes, why are you vacillating? Why is your body perambulating? If
we put the league table on the screen, this
I'm mentioning it because
it is not there. It is who is on top, who is second, who is third, who is fifth, that kind of thing. There's no explanation. Hearts is on top. That's it.
I miss why when Kotoko was on top, I wasn't bothered about, because we're not leading on.
So why are you bothered
goal
now?
Difference. No, I'm just mentioning it because you know what? The seasons are wrapping up across the world, and in the league as well, it's wrapping up. So it's relevant. Whether goal difference or matches won is getting relevant because we are nearing the end of the season.
Let's jump into the Chronicle. I'll do the Chronicle newspaper. On the front page, just continuing from where Ben left off with the interchanges, 6,000 kilometers of tarred roads ready this year, according to the roads minister. But is there anything that we've seen in the past 4 years that gives us the assurance that all these huge promises that he made over the weekend is something that we will live to see in the second term of the president?
Amavi, pose that question to me. Pose the question.
You work in the office of the minister?
No, just pose the question to me. Direct it to me
okay.
as an ordinary
Directed at you, Ben.
Okay. No. I don't have that confidence, unfortunately. The precedents are too many. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so, I mean, it will be interesting to get an up-close conversation with this particular ministry and with the huge promises that they've made. And the kind of sentiments that we're all sharing as ordinary Ghanaians. I mean, are we convinced, especially when they declared a year as year of roads? What did we see?
Am I convinced?
And now
Not
that
at all.
he's coming back with these ones. But also on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper, Niger Delta gangs attack Ghanaian vessel, sees 3 Chinese, Russian and Korean off Tema coast. Very troubling. KGL partners join others to raise $25 million for football development. And death of cop at Mankasim fuel station. Court acquits and discharges Isaac H. Eshen. One of those, I want to say bizarre, but I'm not sure if that fits. But here's a man who was arrested and, accused of murder, and he's been going up and down, only to find after about a year and a half, court finally acquits and discharges him. And he says the police didn't do a good job because the IGP had been there and promised, and it was a policeman who died. So you know how it is when it's one of their own. Mm-hmm. You get all the top people come, and then they promise that they'll get the corporate. So he thinks that it was because the IGP stepped in and there was a promise to get the killer. They quickly just had to arrest anybody, and it happened to be him. And he went through the process. They didn't go through proper due process, not proper investigations, and they just put a murder charge on him. And he's been going to court all this while, only to finally be acquitted and discharged by the courts. So he's asking for an apology. I was thinking just when I heard it that, hey, why not compensation? I mean, he's a chief, right? So, the fact that people actually thought that he was a killer and he has a fuel station. I understand people didn't even want to patronize the fuel station. All of that. Charlie, you can put all of that into costs.
But that chief, he be guy, the other day, we had an interaction, I think, on the pause. And Charlie, when you see his Fendi shades and hey, when I heard Chief, honestly, even sitting in this part of the studio, I was expecting to be away front, but I saw the guy suited up and with his Fendi shades and all that. I was like,
but in this one with Frank Thomas, so you can. But he's wearing some wild shades.
Okay, so he is the one. He is the one.
Yeah. Hey. So that's we're laughing about
Chief guy, pa.
I guess when you're arrested like that and they accuse you of murder and finally charge you and you're going through the process, it won't be funny. Thank God that at least he lived to see his acquittal.
Well, at least good for him. Let me get into the Daily Guide newspaper quickly. So Goyle diversifying operations. We're talking about that $35 million project and more in terms of bitumen and what that can mean for Ghana. KGL partners sports ministry for AFCON. MP docked over $2.4 million fraud. We've been talking about David Von D and his situation. Fracas over 2013 boss report. And just chipping in this one. It's fracas. Fracas over 2013 boss report.
There is a whether it's cow or cat.
NGC in Court of Appeal over Techiman South Pole. It reminds me of another word. Chassis.
Well, like you saw Monka Flacas.
I nearly said something, but some people will come after me, so let me keep quiet. And on the entertainment page, 2 stories I shall highlight. Hits FM's Dr. Pounds marries in style, and I couldn't miss this one. It was just yesterday, and a number of celebrities were there. Hundreds gathered in Cape Coast to witness the marriage ceremony, which caught a lot of attention on social media. So our very own Dr. Pounds, he's tied the knot. Beautiful
in the past,
couple right there.
I used to hear that when celebs, very popular people, I don't know whether to say are getting married or were getting married, they would have people as in guard the place because, some other chicks who probably didn't know that he was getting married will come to the place.
You see.
So I was just thinking. This one is wild thinking,
hey,
you know?
No, but this allegation you are making, hey. Okay, on behalf of Dr. Pounds.
Hey, no, wait. This is not related to Dr. Pounds. You read the Dr. Pounds story.
Okay.
And
because the way you switched to that one, and I'm here matching me, I'm a Dr. Pounds. Hey.
Maybe I'm telling you.
Oh, me? No.
I'm just giving you a paw.
You see? If your relationship fundamentals are weak, that will expose you on the day when you tie the nuptial knot. Because that is when all those things will happen. But when your relationship fundamentals are strong,
it's not them, Papa.
Chica.
Oh,
Basa.
Congratulations to Dr. Pounds. He hit a big jackpot. We wish him well with his marriage.
Oh, big jackpots. We're hitting the pounds kakramra. But I'll wrap up with this one on the entertainment page. Have you followed this? Shatawale Davido in Rolls Royce brouhaha.
I have.
So Shatawale got his white whip and started flaunting it in the US and all of that. And he, posted on social media, only you can congratulate yourself, Shatawale. All you pray for is progress, and they don't see it. Move forward, don't look back. You are blessed. Welcome back, KOAD, GOG, and the rest. But just this past Thursday, Davido also posted a black version of the same car, and he also posted, "We rise by lifting others, but don't forget to reward yourself. Who de Zuzu just copped my first RR. God is good. I'm forever grateful to y'all," and all of that. But it appears they've been throwing shades at each other on social media, and it's all over. Oh, well, I've got a whip. You've got a whip. I've got a Rolls Royce. You've got a Rolls Royce. Hey, but sometimes these entertainment figures.
This is the bit about the game, particularly with these guys, that I hate. This whole pettiness, and they forget who their followers are. Stoneboy Shatawale, the people who typically follow them are not people who are driving G-Wagon and stuff like that.
Have you been seeing the people when Stoneboy comes here, when Shatawale comes here? Do you see the peeps who come here?
So I think this is just, shows immaturity on their parts. I hate this part about it.
But some will tell you it's part of the industry, like the whole beef. Sometimes they cook up beef. Sometimes they cook up these things just to, sometimes Obini album is about to be released. They're just trying to create.
I like the beef, but the bit about showing what you've got in terms of cars and that kind of thing, it doesn't work for me. Because you see, already now, when people see these things, the young people that they're targeting, the young people who follow them around, they think that these things are real. Yeah. I mean, they don't know where you got the money from, but they also want it.
I completely get you, because then they also feel, but how old are you? And you've got this, you need to, and that's when they use certain corners to get it.
They've got to think beyond the beef, the fact that, Davido is showing this, and think about your own reality and the place that you've been put in society in Ghana, how people look up to you, and do things accordingly. I mean, I'm a Stoneboy person, true and true, but this bit about him, I hate, honestly.
Well, this is actually Shatawale.
But they are all showcasing. Let's do the Daily Graphic. Okay, not to be carried away. The Daily Graphic newspaper on the front page. I think we've gone through the Roots Minister's ambitious plans. But mining firms commit to local procurements is also another story. Teacher soldier killed by gunmen. Full story on page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Just a bit of the story on page 16. Here we go. All right, so the two shooting incidents over the weekend claimed the lives of two persons, a teacher and a soldier in Cape Coast and Prang in the Bono East region, respectively. The first incident, which occurred on the Prang Kintampo Highway in the Pru East districts in the Bono East region last Friday, suspected to be the act of armed robbers, claimed the life of a 41-year-old soldier of the 3rd Battalion of Infantry, Sunyai, identified as Sergeant Job Kwame Odei. And then near the University of Cape Coast Medical School hostel last Saturday, an assailant shot a teacher, Mr. Yao Eifa Gorman, in his car, injuring him in his left eye, which resulted in his death. We're following all these stories, bringing you the very latest here on the AM show. If you go to page 18, fight against galamsey, political parties must declare zero tolerance. That's Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the Member of Parliament for North Tongue. But in a piece that he also wrote, and he's known for writing such on various issues, he says it strikes me as really strange that in the entire Galamsey fight, we have not had one Galamsey overlord, one real architect, an actual financier arrested and prosecuted. Isn't that where the fight should have started from? That's a question, that he posed. But he also proposes a few things. For instance, he says the use of financial rewards to encourage whistleblowing in order to reverse the warring phenomenon, which he says is depleting Ghana's environmental resources. So just a bit about what Okudzeto Ablakwa has to say. And then the Daily Graphic, on the back of that, did an interview with him. That angle is also in the Daily Graphic newspaper. There's 7 witnesses filed statements in Banda election petition. This is on page 19. While 3 filed in support of the petition by the MPP parliamentary candidate, Mr. Joe Dankwa, 4 others filed in support of the declaration of the NDC Member of Parliament, Ahmed Ibrahim, as the legitimate winner. And so that's where we are with this case, which is at the Sunyani High Courts. And so you can catch up with where it is. In the center spread, Kumasi City Cancer Project Milestone Initiative brings hope is a news feature. On the back page, Hearts leapfrog Kotoko to top sports. Oli back in title contention as well. So, like they say, they will be doing a lot of permutations. Is that what they say?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like the lottery. If you draw, if this one wins, if that one loses. But on crunch day, we'll see how it all wraps up. But if for nothing at all, though you are not a Kumasi Asante Kotoko fan, at least I love the way you pronounce the name of our team, Kotoko. I love the Kotoko.
Oh, there's a cry for help. Hearing impaired student nurse appeals for support. Not even her disability and challenges can stop her from pursuing her dream of becoming a professional nurse to be able to serve persons living with hearing impairments. That's her big dream. Miss Isahaku Zakia, a 25-year-old student with hearing impairment, has defied all odds and is currently studying diploma in nursing at the Community Health Nursing Training College. It's a very inspiring story. Please read it, and if you can give a kobo, to help her realize her dreams, please do.
Well, let's look at the final newspaper now. EU picks Ghana as Africa's COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing hub. That story is actually on page 8. So the start of it talks about the fact that the European Union has announced its decision to remove Ghana from its money laundering and terrorism financing list. This was after interactions between our president and then the president of the European Council, Charles Michel, as well as at the European Commission during his 2-day working visit to Brussels, Belgium. But the focus when it comes to COVID-19, there's been a statement that the European Commission indicated that the selection of Ghana as a possible manufacturing hub for COVID-19 vaccines in Ghana. This, according to the Commission, follows the initiatives already adopted by the government of Ghana. So very soon, who knows, we could be producing vaccines. Dr. Baumia commends Reverend Father Campbell for 50 years of missionary work in Ghana. Nilante, as we call him. He speaks Twi. I was at that event, and it was one filled with pomp and pageantry. There's Ghana Hajj Board uncertain of 2021 Hajj and Umrah prayers. That story is on page 4, and it talks about the fact that, in summary, the new visa requirements from Saudi Arabia prescribe the COVID-19 vaccine as a prerequisite for obtaining a visa for travel. But both parties, the Ghanaian party and the the Saudi party, have actually agreed that the overwhelming majority of Ghanaian pilgrims who have paid since 2020 to perform the Hajj have not had their first coronavirus jab. So that is the sticking point here, which could mean that since 2020, some people have paid up and all of that, but they are still not going to be able to perform the Hajj. 97% of political parties won't exist if EC enforces law. That's according to Dr. Sribo Kweku. And I found this very interesting, Mama V, because he is saying that A majority of them exist in books but are not functioning as stipulated by the electoral laws. What then are we doing with these political parties? Political party funding and all of that has become very problematic. But interestingly, this is what Dr. Kweku says. He says even the MPP and the NDC are complicit and that the political parties did not fully comply with directives such as declaration of assets and liabilities within 21 days to a national election, submission of standard audited accounts, setting up of functioning offices across the country, among others. So why don't we wean? I think in Nigeria, there was a point where they weaned, they cut down and all of that. If we can do this to our banks, streamline, why can't we do it to our political parties? I mean, it could even impact positively because then you could have really strong parties, and then we can move from there and even challenge the duopoly of the MPP
my
and the
disappointment
NDC.
with the Electoral Commission is that they're also supervising something that is illegal, and they are proudly telling us how they are not abiding by the rules. So what are we supposed to make of that? Blame the political parties? Or see the fact that you're not doing your job as an electoral commission? Why report this to us when you have a piece of regulation?
I found it very interesting, but that's it. Just wrapping up with these two headlines. 33 sex workers arrested at Pukwasi. We saw that incident. And then vetting of deputy ministers designate starts June the 2nd. That's it for the Finder newspaper.
Let me quickly do the Today newspaper before the Daily Dispatch. Front page of the Today, LGBTQS rising again, 21 suspected practitioners nabbed in Ho. The only issue is that the arrests was for unlawful assembly, really. But interestingly, this is the highlight. Also, stop destroying GPL and local football. The two headlines on the front page of the Today newspaper. I think I'm good with that. Okay, so I'll brush through these last two papers. Atubiga dumps NDC, Ghana poised to produce COVID-19 vaccines. This is the Republic Press newspaper I'm going through now. Soldiers call Kate Jemfua's bluff, burn more equipment at her mining site. But, Mama V, blood thieves grabbed at Kolebu, of course, still alleged, but blood, human blood, of course, there's no substitute for that, has become, our blood banks, I keep repeating, have about 20 to 25% of what they need, which means that if you were to go to any of these facilities, like the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, a doctor friend was telling me the other day, Dr. Sofenyo, the administrator, showed them, some place, and there were 3 pints of blood, 3. I know.
I can't imagine it. So I can't.
That's why it will be reckless on the parts of the institutions, the hospitals, to also allow people to steal. It will be discouraging to the people who, walk in there and say that they're giving blood. If you can't protect what they've given you and you allow people to steal, God knows how many of these blood people have already stolen. Yeah. And I hear they are selling them for, of course, like 200 cedis,
because people 300
in Cape Coast and all these other places rely on the central bank. When I say central bank, not the Bank of Ghana, but in terms of the blood bank, to get blood in a lot of situations. And by the way, when I say they are selling, it's not the hospitals. I mean, these fraudulent people who sometimes steal them. They are selling them for those sums of money. But Mama, I'll put you on the spot. Do you donate blood? Are you a blood donor? No, I do not. I think I've explained before. Right. Yes. So 2 Sundays ago, I actually donated blood at church. And looking at how bad this is, you can do it every 4 months. I think I'm going to be a regular till I see that at least maybe they say there is some stability, because it's terrible. Okay. At 37, at Kolebu, all our major hospitals, it's not a joke. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll be, so a friend lost his wife. She had cancer, leukemia. And cancer of the blood. Yeah, shares how important getting blood and how they had to rely on other facilities most of the time to get the blood. She died, by the way, after battling it for about 9 months. She lost the fight. So yes, I really can understand. But some of us have certain underlying conditions, so we cannot give blood, but we can advocate for those who can, such as yourself, to walk in, not wait for any special event to donate blood. You can just walk in. And it's very important you say that, because you could actually walk in anytime to any of these hospitals and they'll actually follow some processes and draw your blood. Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap up with, unless you want me to do another headline.
I was just going to go through the Daily Dispatch newspaper. There's Kandapa's action on assault, a good step, according to...
But Epson is impressed.
Yeah, but most of us aren't really.
Samson Ladi is not impressed. Raymond Akwa is not impressed.
They didn't use assault
I am not impressed.
in their statement, by the way.
Anyway.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So the BNFT, I just wanted to highlight $6.5 billion from oil in 10 years, but nothing to show. PIAC and the CSOs have been talking about this. So we've raked in $6.5 billion. That is about 10% of our GDP over 10 years. What has this done for us in real terms, in infrastructure terms, in happiness terms for Ghanaians? What has it done for us? That's just the question I want to leave you with.
Okay, think about the question. You can send us messages if you've got comments and opinions on what we have done so far. Of course, you can let us know. We've got sports coming your way right here on the AM show. Do stay.